Hey guys, my name is Aldas, and in today's video I'm going to be continuing with part 2 of my Downfall of Williams series. Now the first part was another hit, you guys loved it, there was really good positive feedback, and also some good criticism as well, which I always like, and that's obviously all really good to see. Now like I said, we're going to jump into part 2 today, and hopefully it'll be another good video, but don't forget, if you like the content here, then like and subscribe, that'll be hugely appreciated, and the growth recently has been incredible. We are almost at 5,000 subscribers, and you guys just smash every single target that I set. I was hoping for 5k before Christmas, we are going to be well over that, and my next target, and this is a big one, can we even get to 10k before Christmas, or anywhere near that would be phenomenal. If I put out the content and you guys like it, then just subscribe, and 10k before Christmas, can we do it? I don't know, I really hope so. It'll be incredible to see. But anyway, let's jump into the video. So last time out, I finished by talking about the final 2 championships that Williams won, which was of course with Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve as well. Now in this episode, I am going to be of course mainly talking about the BMW years, but I'm going to just quickly start off by rounding out the sort of the late 90s for Williams. And it was a time of quite big change, not only a driver change for 1997 with Villeneuve and Heinz-Harald Frentzen, but also the biggest change, in my opinion, was the engine change that they had. Now, I also mentioned in the last episode how successful they were with Renault, and obviously from switching from Honda to Renault, just what that gave them, and it was a huge success. And they switched from Renault to Mechachrome for the 1997 season. Now, very big change here, and it did not work out. It was a 2-year period where they actually already signed the deal to be powered by BMW, by the way, for the 2000 season, 2 years prior to that in 1998. So this was a bit of a... It was a transition period, basically, for Williams, and it was a rough one, to say the least. It was, and one thing that will reoccur in this episode is driver changes, something that Williams, and something that you guys actually mentioned that I didn't sort of mention in my first part, was just the amount of driver changes that Williams have had, and they have had a lot, and it's not always been for the better. I think it's been a big negative, because you need consistency within a team and a consistent lineup to create long-lasting success. And even, you know, after Mansell won his championship and after Prost won his championship, there were driver changes, and of course Damon Hill left as well. So this will be a reoccurring theme within this episode, driver changes. Now Williams did of course announce in 1998 that they would be powered by BMW for the 2000 season, and this was a very good move financially, in my opinion. And we'll get onto in a minute how that turned out. But obviously, for the 2 years being powered by Mechachrome, it was not a great period for them. They never matched the dominance of McLaren and the resurgence of Ferrari, who were really starting to get their act together with Michael Schumacher almost winning the title. But they were, you know, Williams were in the way of 2 titans of our sport in Michael Schumacher and Mika Hakkinen, 2 absolute legends. Now, in 2000, the partnership between Williams and BMW began. And what's also very interesting is that BMW actually only agreed to provide engines for Williams in 1998, but only as an engine manufacturer coming into Formula 1. Now, this was the first time that BMW would properly be involved in Formula 1. They did have something to do with engines in the 50s and 60s and even the 70s, but never as a full sort of mainstream manufacturer or team. But BMW did have quite good success in motorsport anyway. They had a motorsport pedigree, even winning actually the 1999, I think it was Le Mans. So, you know, definitely some pedigree there. But probably one of the biggest pieces of business that Williams did was actually the year after, in 1999, where they signed on BMW to be a title sponsor. So not just an engine manufacturer, but a title sponsor. This was massive, by the way, because it added £20 million a year into Williams, who were apparently getting only 40 million at the time. So a huge piece of money, and definitely a good business move there. Now, not only did they have a brand new engine supplier in the year 2000, but also a brand new driver lineup as well. Ralf Schumacher had stayed at the team, and a brand new rookie in the name of Jenson Button, who everybody knows, I'm pretty sure, had joined as well. Now, it was a bit of a rocky start to the relationship. There was no wins and no massive immediate success, but there were signs of progress with podiums. But however, it was also quite flawed with reliability issues as well. And Jenson Button did come under fire quite a bit from his rookie season and did not stay on for the following year in 2001. Now, 2001 was a much better year, but now it was Ralf Schumacher and Juan Pablo Montoya, who is a fantastic driver in my opinion, and definitely had a huge impact on Williams. Now, again, there were reliability struggles in 2001, but now there were even wins and podiums as well, and Juan Pablo Montoya really came out and, in my opinion, made a name for himself, and it was definitely a good sign. Now, 2002 was another season of really good progress. Juan Pablo Montoya, who, like I said, I rate really highly, came out as a fantastic racing driver and as a fantastic talent, and not only got best of the rest, but also managed to grab 7 pole positions as well. So a really good racing driver. But it was actually in 2003 where Williams and BMW really came into their own and really took Ferrari to their limits. I mean, they still ended up losing the championship to Michael Schumacher and Ferrari just because of how dominant Ferrari and how quick Michael Schumacher was at the time, which we already know. I mean, we know how incredibly consistent and how dominant they were. But in 2003, it was a very close season. Montoya got 2 wins and 9 podiums, with Ralf Schumacher getting also 2 wins and 3 podiums on a bit of a late charge actually by Williams. But in the end, they couldn't quite match up to Kimi Räikkönen and Ferrari, who were just more reliable than Williams. And I think that was their big Achilles heel then. Now, the next couple of years would be a little bit rough for Williams. In 2004, they again had, of course, Montoya and Ralf Schumacher, so a bit more of a consistent lineup than in their previous history, but it wouldn't be a much better season, with getting only 3 podiums and 1 win, with it being given to Montoya in the last race, actually. Now, there was also a big crash for Ralf Schumacher in IndyCar, and he was replaced by 2 different drivers, actually, Mark Jean and Antonio Pizzonia. And I've never heard of these 2. But yeah, not a great season for them in 04. And actually, Montoya ended up leaving to McLaren for the next season, and it would go even further downhill for them. And due to just the resurgence of Renault and the rise of Fernando Alonso in 2005, it was now Webber and Heidfeld, a completely different lineup. But sadly, the results did not come. They ended up finishing 5th in the Constructors with only 4 podiums. And at the end of the season, there was a massive change in the team. And it was not only the loss of a huge sponsor in HP, but also BMW as well, with BMW leaving Williams. Now, post-BMW, Williams raced with a Cosworth engine, and sadly, it actually got a lot worse. They ended up drifting into the midfield until the end of the decade, and actually, their best move was to sign Nico Rosberg, a fantastic talent, who really, in the last in the years that he was with the team, he was pushing that car above and beyond, even getting up a couple of podiums and some fastest laps as well, and we know the talent that he is, and obviously he became a world champion. But there was also 3 different years and 3 different driver changes, which really did not help the team, and they were never as quick as they once used to be with BMW. And like I said, with the driver changes and introducing Nakajima, who was a pay driver. Now, at the end of the decade, there was, of course, big rule changes as well. And also one of Williams' biggest assets, who was Nico Rosberg, left the team in 2010 to go to Mercedes. The team did go into a little bit of a spiral, having some good years, some bad years, and lacking a lot of consistency. Now, in the next episode, I will be talking about the more recent Williams history with the Williams-Renault change, Claire Williams, of course, the hybrid era, and of course, I'll be talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Pastor Maldonado. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you did, then don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Like I said at the start, I'm aiming for maybe 10k before the end of the year. That'll be phenomenal, and if you guys enjoy the content, then yeah, I'm happy to provide it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.